guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the Winter Media channel on YouTube. If you listen to this on Spotify, I highly recommend looking on YouTube. We are talking about sports and global events today, so I hope you enjoy. Welcome back to another week of Winter Media. This week we are covering the NFL presidential campaign. Next week, it's here. We're gonna find out who's the president of the United States for the next 4 years. Exciting stuff with that. Some terrible news in the NFL. Heartbreaking news. Makes a grown man cry. But then we're going to finish off some world news as well. But we're really going to try to hit on the NFL, what went wrong this week, how can the teams improve, how can the teams get better, and then we're going to go into the world news and domestic news. We're going to touch on the world news just a little bit less than we will the domestic news, just because the presidential campaign is coming up, and that is very important here in the United States of America. So let's get right into it. So, the Rams upset the Vikings Thursday night. Then the Packers beat the Jags, Patriots beat the Jets, Cardinals beat the Dolphins, Browns beat the Ravens. Bengals lost to the Eagles pretty bad. Texas beat the Colts. Lions stomped on the Titans. Falcons beat the Bucks. Saints lost to the Chargers. Bears lost to the Commanders. Bills lost to the Seahawks. Chiefs won against the Raiders. 49ers won against the Cowboys. Broncos won against the Panthers. And the Steelers did win against the New York Giants. So now, here's how the standings are looking. We're going to go through the AFC first, then the NFC. So first, AFC East. We got the Bills on top, 6-2, 2-5, 2-6, 2-6. Yeah, honestly, it's a done deal. If we're going to be honest. No one's catching the Bills. Josh Allen's lucky he plays in a weak division, honestly. If he wasn't in this division, he would most likely be coming out of the playoffs this year, as in not making it, not going to the Super Bowl, just in case y'all got it confused. Then we got the Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, New York Jets. They are just not good teams this year. Tua getting hurt, obviously that put a damper on their season, but the Patriots and the Jets, they're just not a good team. We had higher hopes for the Jets. I literally had them making the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is not the man for a team anymore. He needs to retire. Garrett Wilson recently requested a trade. I don't know what's going on in New York. If you do, please let me know. But other than that, man, it's a shame what's happening in New York. These people really do not know what's going on. These people really have no sense of reality at all. And what's really upsetting is that they're bringing in all these people, reforming the Packers, and then these people are complaining. Like, the older players that had to grind for their spots in the Packers, that's what made them good. They were grinding. And then they come to New York Jets and they expect everything. So don't you forget that. They came to New York complaining not to play football. AFC North. Woo-wee! Pittsburgh Steelers 6-2, Baltimore Ravens 5-3, Cincinnati Bengals 3-5, and Cleveland Browns 2-6. Let me tell you something. Steelers, all right, I'll give it to them. They're gonna have a winning season. It's whatever, right? No one's really gonna say that they're gonna have a losing season. Mike Tomlin's career speaks for itself, right? No matter who his quarterback is, no matter what team he had, he's always had a winning season or an even season. Baltimore Ravens. Now I told y'all, Lamar Jackson is not that guy. He's really not that guy. He is lazy, he gives poor effort, and he loves to just complain when everything doesn't roll his way. And now, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, no, he doesn't, he owns up. Okay, that's not what I mean. What I mean by complaining is that throwing the helmet at the end of the game. I get it. You're frustrated, but you're the quarterback too. You should have done more to win that game, especially against the Cleveland Browns. You're a better team than that. How about you learn how to throw the football more? How about you actually learn how to be a quarterback and not a hybrid quarterback? It's the honest truth. It's the honest truth. If you want to be successful in this league, you have to learn how to be a quarterback, not a hybrid quarterback. It is what it is. Look at Josh Allen. He ain't going nowhere in the playoffs. Look at Justin Fields. He ain't doing nothing in the playoffs. Now, look at Lamar Jackson. He ain't doing nothing in the playoffs. I mean, look at Michael Vick. He ain't doing nothing. Like, yeah, it was Michael Vick's sensation in Atlanta. Oh, my God. But for so many years, he won so many games and didn't do nothing with it. I like winning. I like Super Bowls. I like somebody who actually wants to compete and get a championship. Not compete their way, just compete. And that's my biggest thing with the Baltimore Ravens. They always want to do things their way. Stop trying to do it your way. There's no your way. Go out there and get it done. Stop saying, well, we got to find our way. No. How about you go out there and beat your man one-on-one? How about you go out there and beat that team to the ground? It is a divisional game, and you let the other team show you up, who was prior to this week 1-6. It's a shame. And that is why the Cincinnati Bengals stay alive in the playoff run. I really had the Bengals winning this week. We will get to that later. If the Bengals would have won this week, man, they would have been right on their tails. But the Bengals couldn't pull it together. Don't know what's going on with Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, TJ Hay. Like, come on, man. I don't know what's going on over there. They got to fix something because this is ridiculous. The AFC North looks like the doors were closed on the Bengals. But now they look pretty good to me. I mean, look, like, come on. They can make the playoffs, but they got to put in some work now. Okay? It might be a 3-team playoff team division from the AFC North by the end of the year. Not gonna lie to you. But they're gonna have to put in that work first. Moving on to the AFC South. Houston Texans beat the Indianapolis Colts, putting them at 4-4 on Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. Let me tell you, oh my gosh. Lead these boys just end of the season, they ain't doing nothing, man. Go on to Cabo. Go and get your little paycheck. Go and spend a little bit of money. And don't worry about the season no more. Because you're not winning nothing. Like, dude, it is honestly not looking good for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You gave Trevor Lawrence all of that money and what? I mean, granted, his weapons were missing and all this stuff. But now they're back and you're not doing nothing. Man, I don't know what to tell you. Other than just get ready for the next year. Just get ready for next year, bro. 2-6. Now I'm gonna get the playoffs. Sorry, not in the AFC at least. Now the Houston Texans, man, they barely got out of that game with a win. I'm not gonna hold you. They barely got out of there with a win. Now the Indianapolis Colts are the bigger story than the Houston Texans on the pure fact of 1, 2, 3. Taps in, I'm out. Anderson Richardson tapped out of the game. What is the brother doing? Is he hurt? What was he thinking? It is a clutch game. It is a divisional game. You win that game, you are 5-3. Uh-oh. You win that game, Texans are 5-3. Uh-oh. You win that game, you're on top of the division. Come on now. It's a 2-team race. And you're going to tap out? People need explanations. I need explanations. Because this is ridiculous, dude. I'm not lying to you. This is ridiculous. A franchise quarterback, really, a franchise quarterback is going to tap out of the game. You have to be hurting very badly to tap out of the game as a franchise quarterback. Otherwise, hey, good luck to you. If I'm the Indianapolis Colts, if I didn't get a serious enough answer behind closed doors, I'll tell them straight up. Just sit the bench. Joe Flacco will play. You'll be traded by next year. Easy as that. You don't want to play? That's fine. If you're hurt, that's one thing. If you're like, Coach, man, this injury I had, man, I feel it still. Okay, that's one thing. But if you just out there, I don't feel so good, man. I don't feel like I'm playing so good. Hey, get me up out of here. Yup. Yeah, you'll be out of here, all right. Out of here onto a new city. What's wrong? I don't understand. See, a lot of y'all might not know this, but I coach as well. As a part-time job, and I have a full-time job as a tax accountant. And I'm trying to build this YouTube base and just social media base channel. The lack of competitiveness from people nowadays, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You put your heart and soul into it all the time. That's how I was taught. That's how I was raised. That's how I was coached. If you didn't put your heart and soul into it all the time, unless you're supremely talented, you're not playing. And even when you're supremely talented, you still might not play, because it's the part of caring that just gets pushed on to other people, and they're just like, man, this guy he really cares. What should I guess I got to go out there and try, because he's putting everything out there on the line, and I just gotta go out there and try better. And it's like, yes you do. But nowadays it's okay, buddy, you okay? Like, just come, okay, and like we'll help you out, buddy. No. Get out there in the game, man. I want answers. I want serious answers too. That brother better not play next week. That's how serious he better be hurt. Now, moving on to the AFC West, the Chiefs are 7-0. Was Nick right a year too early? The Chiefs on an undefeated season? Whoa, on the path to a third Super Bowl? Okay. Let's calm down. Patrick Mahomes doing his thing. A lot of glaring issues that they're taking care of. D-Hop is now in Kansas City. Give him a few more weeks. He'll be looking bright in the night sky. And then you also getting back a few more receivers towards the end of the year as well. Okay, so the Chiefs are just going to get better throughout the season. Now moving on to the Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Chargers, and the Las Vegas Raiders. Whew. I don't know. I really do believe that the Chargers are going to end with a better season record than the Denver Broncos. But I could be wrong. Broncos are looking nice, but the Chargers are looking nice as well. Chargers looking more game-planned team. Like, if they stick to the game plan, they win. But if they go outside the game plan, they're going to lose. That's the only problem. And if a team blows up their game plan, they're going to lose. They're not very good at improvising, I would say, the Los Angeles Chargers. But the Denver Broncos, all they do is improvise. So that's the problem. That's the problem right there. You got two different spectrums of the team. I still believe the Chargers are going to end up as a better team at the end of the year. And I do not have anybody else making the playoffs except the Chiefs are out of this division. And I only have the Colts making the division. I mean, not Colts, Texans making the division in the South. So I believe so. You can fact check me. But, yeah, man, AFC West is one of the better divisions in all of football. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just that the Las Vegas Raiders, they're pulling them down. Somebody needs to talk to the coach, talk to the management, be like, hey, we could be one of the best divisions in football if we just win a few more games. Like, jeez. Moving on to the NFC East. We're going to skip the first team. 6-2. Philadelphia Eagles 5-2. Cowboys 3-4. New York Giants 2-6. Now, The Cowboys are looking bad, very bad. I get it. They're missing a lot of defenders, missing a lot of players in general. I get it. But they're looking terrible. It looks like they need to move on to the next season. That's how bad it is looking. Now, regarding the Giants, move on to next season. Actually, move on to some other person as quarterback. Because Daniel Jones is just not it. Draft a quarterback, have him sit behind Daniel next year, and then put him in the fire in 2027. 2026, 2027 season. Now, regarding not my Eagles, but the Philadelphia Eagles, I did hope that they would lose this week, just because I wanted the Bengals to be competitive in their division. So it was a tough pick for me this week. Sadly, I picked wrong. But on the bright side, I do have the Eagles finishing and winning the NFC East division. And Daniels is hurt. So that's something to watch out for. See if he is actually be able to finish off a season healthy, or if not, a little bit healthier than what he is now. Regarding the Eagles, great win. Bengals are supposed to be a good team, but they're just not looking like it, and it makes sense. I think Joe Mixon did a lot for that team, a lot more than they realized. So who knows what was going to happen if he would have stayed. But moving on, Bengals just look bad. Eagles went out there and showed you why they look bad. Okay, now to the best division in football. Can I get an amen, brother? Now, the Bears are not like running up the score, but they're also not giving up a lot of points. I mean, look, we'll flip through it right now. 146 is the lowest out of there. 119, okay. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay, 119. And then, okay, so, whoa, AFC South giving a lot of points. Whoa. And then here we go. Chargers, 91 points they given up. Told you what I tell you. Now, moving on to the East. Oh, my gosh, so many points. Moving on to the North. Oh, my gosh. Oh, and then there's the Bears, 119. And then Atlanta Falcons. Whoa. Okay, is this... Well, okay, they just love giving up points in the South. Now, in the West, like, come on. Bears are literally one of the best defensive teams in all of football. Let me tell you that. But Jalen Johnson, brother, if you do not clean up your act this year, you need to get out of Chicago. Point blank, period. It is ridiculous that you tapped the ball up and the ball was caught in the end zone to end the game against the Commanders. That is ridiculous. That is unacceptable. And the Bears head coaching staff needs to point that out to everybody, how unacceptable that behavior is, by benching him a half. We will not be throwing a game. You need to just bench him a half. Make him lose some money, because this is ridiculous at this point. It's inexcusable. It's honestly inexcusable. Now, the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, and Minnesota Vikings. We're going to get to the Vikings last, actually. I got some things to say about them. But now, the Detroit Lions and Packers. Man, oh man. Packers, man, they better be careful. They better be careful, okay? Because Jordan Love is not healthy. I don't know what's wrong with the brother. It's multitude different things. I believe the ankle is his biggest problem. So we'll see about that. We'll see what happens with that. The Detroit Lions, oh my lord, they might trade for Max Crosby or Myles Garrett. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I think if they do that, I believe if they do that, they're gonna probably be the best defensive team in all of football. Because, like, the Steelers are good, but the Chargers giving up the least amount of points. The Bears are good, but the Chargers gave up the least amount of points. And I think the Bears' defense is under the Steelers, just because the Steelers come to play more mentally with you. They want to hit you harder. They want to hit you faster. They want to hit you more than the Bears. and it showed up a lot on Sunday to further that point. And now, the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to tell y'all straight. Once a loser, always a loser. The Vikings are losers. I don't care that they started out 5-0. Their last 2 games before they lost to the Lions did not look good. They lost to the Lions. They did not look all that good. I get it, the score was a little closer than most thought. They did not look that good. And then they came out this week losing to the LA Rams. What is wrong with you? I hate the Vikings. I wouldn't say hate. Hate's a strong word. I strongly dislike the Vikings. But once a loser, always a loser. The Viking Nation, I'm sorry. Y'all ain't gonna ever win a Super Bowl. Just pack it up and move on to another city. Probably go out to LA like the Lakers did. And hopefully you'll be able to make a Super Bowl out there. 3 teams in LA, I'm sure the NFL doesn't care. Now, NFC South. Let me put my glasses back on. NFC South. Not Vikings. That's how much I don't like the Vikings. They just room rental up in my head. Falcons, Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers. Okay. Bucks. This was your week. This was their week to win the game and to actually stay competitive for the number 1 spot. But they lost to the Falcons. Baker Mayfield just made too many mistakes. I get it. Not all of them was his fault. But they still made too many mistakes for my liking. They should have had Baker just take a breath, calm down, hand off that ball, do a little flick, a little something, just something to try to take it out of his hands a little bit more in that second quarter, rather than have him just fling the ball all around, all day. So I get it, and if I remember correctly, they had to keep up in the game. So it's just a shame what happened with the Bucks and Falcons. I really like Baker. I love Baker's mentality and game. Just lost to the Falcons, man. Kirk Cousins, first Cousins. He's crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. He's crazy. I have them both making the playoffs. By the way, just saying. I seen this coming. So let's just get that straight right away. Now the Arizona Cardinals are at the top of the NFC West. What is going on? 49ers, Seahawks, LA Rams. Now, weakest competitive division in all of football is the NFC West. And that's because the 49ers cannot handle business without Christian McCaffrey. Kyle Murray decides to play, but now Black Ops 6 is out. Let's see if it continues. The Seattle Seahawks are performing like they should with the rookie head coach and Geno Smith as your quarterback. Now the LA Rams, they're kind of doing it. They're kind of trying to be competitive. They beat up on the Vikings this week. But we got to understand, they're trying to sell players off. They're trying to trade players before the deadline. So Cooper Kupp might be out there. And a few other people might be out of there. But the LA Rams, they very well could win this division. And once you get into the playoffs, who knows what happens? Who knows? Weakest, most competitive division in all of football is NFC West. Book it. Now, to my predictions, right? Now, we know the Chiefs won, right? Broncos won. Cowboys lost. Steelers won. Ravens lost. Bengals lost. Texans won. Lions won. Bucks lost. Chargers won. Seahawks lost. Bears lost. Rams won. Green Bay won. Cardinals won. Jets lost. Cardinals did win, if I am correct. Yeah, Cardinals won. So, out of all these games, right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. out of 15 games. That sounds about right. Ooh. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why am I missing one? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's 16. Why am I tripping? It was probably because I did not do so hot this week, fellas. Now let's look up that percentage. And I did a whopping 56.25% this week. Now, this is terrible compared to the weeks that I've been doing. And I'm just wondering, why are there so many upsets? Who knows? Let's hope for a better week. Let's hope that these brothers get it together. Let's hope that they all just kind of come into their own. And let's go Bears, right? Let's go Bears. Let's go Bears. Please. Let's go Bears. Moving on to some world news, American news. Whew. Man, oh man, this is a doozy this week. And let me tell you about it right now. Now, first notion, get out there and vote. It will be reiterated at the end of the video. Joe Rogan and Donald Trump did a podcast. Shannon Sharpe and Kamala Harris did a podcast. Washington Post polls endorsements for all presidential campaigns, and you won't believe who supports that decision. Elon Musk caused a problem, and just you wait. Israel has banned the UN agency for Palestinian refugees. Former Bolivian president claims his car was hit by gunfire in an attempted assassination. Let's go bottom up, right? Now, former Bolivian president claims his car was hit by gunfire in an attempted assassination. Now, this is extremely worrisome, not because it directly affects Americans, but because it's showing that world leaders are still being targeted and trying to be assassinated left and right, and we have to be on the watch out for that. Whether you agree with him, whether you didn't, he shouldn't be assassinated. He should be able to not just like walk around gingerly and live his life, but if he's done crimes, he should be held to justice. And if he hasn't done crimes, let the man do what he needs to do as a former president of a country, and let him just walk in peace, right? Walking in peace. Moving to Israel has banned the UN agency for Palestinian refugees. It was bound to happen. I didn't even know that they could do that. I don't know how serious the UN is taking this ban. As well as if this is targeted just to terrorists, or is this targeted to all Palestinians? And that's something that's going to be a developing story that's going to come out and tell us more, but we just need more information on that, right? The headline obviously catches your eye. It obviously makes you want to read, right? But you have to get more information from what is actually happening in Israel regarding the telling the UN agency that they are banned from for accepting Palestinian refugees. Man, that is just wild. That is just crazy. The world. What is the world coming to? We don't know. But it needs to be reformed. It needs to be not completely reformed, just reformed as in they just, hey, we need to sit down, we need to talk contracts, get new contracts going. We got to renew some contracts. We got to do something, right? We got to do something. Now, Elon Musk has caused a problem regarding super PACs. They're very confusing. They're confusing, but they're not confusing all at the same time, right? So, Elon Musk has announced that he's going to give $1 million away randomly to every person who signs this partition. With doing that, that caused a lot of stir. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can do that. And the biggest problem is that he's not doing anything. He's really not. He's just asking people to support something on his platform. He's literally making a lottery of sorts. Quite literally a lottery of sorts on his own platform by giving away that kind of money. And he could really change some people's lives. So you just gotta realize that. And he said this like 5 days ago. And he said all the way up to the election. So he's giving away I think 15-20 million. So it is wild. It is crazy what is happening. But Elon Musk caused a problem. A lot of politicians are not happy about it. But it's not their money. They don't get to say what he could do with his money and how they have that much money. But they don't want to talk about that. Washington Post pulls endorsements for all presidential candidates, and Jeff Bezos supports it. Oh wow, no one saw that coming. The man who the man who did buy the Washington Post supports what the Washington Post does. Honestly, I just put that in there just so you guys are aware of what major news sources are doing at this current moment in time. CNN and Fox obviously are not going to come out and say, well, we don't endorse anybody, because those are the main left and right wing big media companies. But Washington Post is not I believe they lean more on Democratic, but they're more in the middle, kind of a media outlet source. Just they don't give a lot of good information, a lot of biased information as well. But I mean, why? That's I get what they said, right? Oh, well, we just don't want to do it anymore, blah 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 blah. But why? What's the real reason why? We're trying to figure that out here. Now, Shannon Sharpe interviews Kamala Harris. Now, I have not been able to watch the whole interview. I have seen probably a good 30 minutes of it. Kamala Harris is specifically targeting the black voter. You know that. We know that. Everyone knows that. Why? Why? Because she is losing the black vote every time she opens her mouth. And she's only keeping the women on her side. The more she speaks, the more that black men tend to say, no thank you. And it's not because she's a woman. It's because she doesn't know what to say. She is repetitive and a dodger of questions and a normal politician who shouldn't have any power like the presidential office. And that's just my opinion on it, because she really doesn't know what to say when someone asks her, well, how are you going to help the American people? She goes into politician talk. That's not what the people need or want to hear, because the people don't understand that. The people want to hear, how are you going to help the American economy? Well, I'm going to first start taxing companies that are egregiously taxing the American people. I'm going to give $500,000 to first-time home buyers so that they are able to buy a home, have a home, upgrade the home, make the home theirs, and not someone else's home, so they could raise a family. Things like that, right? Now is it are all those things I said possible? No, but to some degree they would be possible. And to all degrees, she could say that. But she doesn't for some reason. And that's what's interesting. That's what's interesting to hear. Is that all these people are saying, well, Kamala Harris said she's gonna help the American people by doing this. Did she say it? Or did her group say it? And that's the biggest problem. Nobody can actually differentiate what her group says and what she says that want to have an actual reasonable, logical conversation about this lady. And man, honestly, if I was the Democratic Party, I would have tried my best to keep Robert Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard, and I would have tried to gone and got one of the younger Democratic people that are really stoic and able to handle conversations and such, to go into interviews and sound smart. But they didn't vote on her. Ring, 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 ring. If you want to know how do I start a country with complete control, I'm at loss of words, okay? Because some people just don't realize. No one voted on this lady. No one did. The Democratic Party has come out and said, yeah, we recognize we did it. Then why is she running as a Democrat? It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Everyone knew that she was going to lose if she went in. Everyone knew that. They still threw her in. Like I said, I would have tried my best to try to get Robert Kennedy, throw Bernie Sanders in there, or keep Tulsi Gabbard, and try your best to elevate them, because they could actually go toe-to-toe with Trump and probably win, especially Tulsi Gabbard. Amazing mind. She really knows her stuff. And she's perfect. She's everything you want. She's an American. She's colored. She's been a congresswoman. And she served in the military. What's more? And she has kids. What more do you want? A mother, a vet, a congresswoman, and a woman of color. Duh. But I'm not the Democratic Party leader, so I don't know. But Joe Rogan and Donald Trump went on their podcast, and full disclosure, Shannon Sharpe just dropped the Kamala Harris interview today. I do have work, school, and I do watch football, obviously, because I covered that before this. But Donald Trump and Joe Rogan's interview dropped over the weekend, so I had more time to actually watch that rather than Shannon Sharpe's and Kamala Harris. But I watched the full video of Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. Man, I mean, same guy, same atmosphere. Joe Rogan, I wouldn't take too much from that interview, just because Joe Rogan was trying to have more fun, trying to get answers he wanted and such, and Trump just wanted to get on Joe Rogan just to have more exposure, just say, hey, I'm a real guy, I answer questions, I'll go to the toughest guy, and I'll do whatever. Now, Joe Rogan said he's still waiting on Kamala Harris's people to get back to him and be on his podcast. Uh-oh. We're like 6 days away from the election. 8 days away from the election. Sorry, in my mind, that's all the days. Yeah, we're 8 days away from the election. Uh-oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I think Kamala Harris is going to go on the Joe Rogan experience. And a lot of people on the Democratic side is going to hate it, because they hate Joe Rogan. I hate Joe Rogan. He's just a Republican. He likes to go hunt. Shut up. Let him live his life. Like he lets you live your life. No one bothers you. Don't bother him. Easy as that. That's a mantra I go by. Leave him alone. Let him do what they want to do. If he wants to do a podcast and it blows up and he's interviewing all these interesting people and he's having fun with it, let him have fun with it. But if you're mad about that, then why is your candidate trying to get on his podcast? And then all of a sudden she doesn't want to go on his podcast? That's very strange. That's very strange. You should check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? Now we're gonna end on this point. Go out and vote. Whether you agree, disagree, not gonna vote for either, just go out there and vote. It's a very important right as an American citizen that you go out and vote, just because you you want to have some kind of impact on our nation. And whether that's an impact on the presidential vote, congressman, congresswoman, house, local government, like, you just got to go out there and vote. If you don't know them, do your best educated guess. If you cannot do any research beforehand, I get it. Everyone has lives. It is what it is. Do your best and go out there and vote. It's very important, and not a lot of people in the world have the right to vote, but we as American citizens do. So please go out there and vote and make your voice heard by filling in that tablet on that ballot, throwing that ballot in that box, walking out of there with the little pin saying "I voted 2024." I think that's what the pins say now. Yeah, just exercise that right, because a lot of people don't get to. A lot of people don't have that right, and they wish they could. Okay, so sometimes you're sometimes you're in a position that's so good, so wonderful, so anointed that you don't even realize it till it's gone. Don't wait until it's gone. Realize it now where you're at. You're in the United States of America. Go out there and vote. Other than that, peace.